If you look inside the asset folder, you will see many animations of the alligator that we use in our game. So this is how we import our animations. First, we need to make sure that the game objects layer is selected. Then we double click outside the layout, type in sprite. Our cursor will change to a plus sign, click. Now, for our animations, we need to set 3 animations: idle, walk, and eat. So first, we need to rename our default animation to idle, and then we need to add our other 2 animations, which is walk and eat. So we right click, add animation, type in walk, right click, add animation, type in eat. Now, for our idle animation, we're going to import our frames. So in order to do this, let's go down to our animation frames window, right click, select import frames from files. We go to our alligator folder, and as you can see, we see our idle.ping image. We select that. We can delete this extra blank animation frame by right clicking and select delete. Let's import our walk animation. As you can see here, it has 4 animation frames, so we select them by holding down shift and selecting them. Delete this extra blank frame. Now we need to change some walking property by clicking on it, and over here to the animation walk properties, we set our speed to 8, which will speed up our walking animation. We select loop to no, which means the animation will not loop. We select our repeat count to 1, as this will go back to animation frame 1 after the animation completes. And we set our ping pong to no under the animation properties window. Now, for our eat animation, import the frame and select eat. Oops. And there we have it, our alligator. So now that we have our alligator, we just rename it to alligator. Make sure that the layer is game objects, and we can just drag him down there. Now what we need to do is we need to create an invisible box. We do this by double clicking outside the layout, type in sprite, and we need to color this box as orange. Click close, and then we need to resize this to make it look like this. Just set it right under the alligator, and we need to name this box ground, and I will tell you later what this will be used for. And also make sure that the initial visibility is set to invisible. Okay, so let's go to Projects tab and select our Game Over layout. Here we need to go to Layers and select the UI layer, and we need to go ahead and add in the rest of our images pertaining to the Game Over layout. So in this case, this would be the main menu and the Game Over. We can just drag our Game Over right here up top and our main menu button. down here. We need to make sure that our main menu has the perfect box collision from what I showed you earlier. Just extend these 4 out, and then we can just click these 2 middle and hit delete, and this will give us a perfect box. Now we need to create a text object. This object will be used to display the score once the game is over. We need to name this object as final score text. So to do this, we double click outside the layout, we type in text, and we select text, and we can click right here in the middle, and over here we set our font to make it bigger. So we set our size to 26, and you can leave the font as is and the font style as is. If you want to, you can change it, but for right now, for this video purpose, I'm not really going to change it. And we set our color to white, and here, once we stretch this out a bit, you can see our text. In fact, I'm gonna make this a little bit larger. Let's do 48. And for our horizontal alignment, we set this to center. Now, we name this text object as final score text. Final underscore text. Let's select our game event sheet. Let's right click, add global variable. We're going to name this variable to score for initial value of 0. Make sure the type is number. And let's add one more global variable called hunger counter. Make sure the type is number and the initial value is 100. These numbers are stored for every layout that we have in our project. Before we continue with our events, you will need to learn about this great feature of Construct 2 called families. Families are basically a group of object types. Think of families as a refrigerator. Inside you have different types of food in it. Everything in the fridge is doing one thing, trying to stay cold. Family makes writing events faster and easier, because instead of writing events for each object that does the same thing, we can group together the objects and then write the logic for that one single family group. So, to make a family for this project, we need to make sure that the project bar is open, and we need to scroll down until we see a folder that says families. So we right click on the family folder and add family. So now we want to select all 4 foods in our project, and then we name our family as food. So we select the cupcake, we select the donut, we select the Pop-Tart, and we select the star cookie. We add these, hit OK. As you can see, it's made a new family, and we rename this family to food. Back at our game event sheet, right click on the event sheet, select add group, type in destroy objects after leaving screen, hit OK. I use groups to tidy up my event coding so that I know what does what. Once that's done, click on add event, select food, and then we select compare Y. You can type it in, compare, and then select compare Y. In the next window, select greater than, and then in the Y coordinate box, type in 980. Hit done. Now click on add action. Select the food family. Type in destroy. What this means is any of the food objects in our food family, if it goes past the Y coordinate, which is basically anything under this, anything below this box that we have here, if the food goes below that, then we destroy it. So remember that we set our window size to 640 by 960, right? So anything past the 960 on the y-axis, we technically won't see on the screen. So we destroy any of the food objects that goes past 980, and we destroy it. We do this to prevent the game from slowing down and using too much memory. Alright, so just make sure that this small event here is right under the destroy objects after leaving screen. All you gotta do is just drag it up under this group. Now what we need to do is right click, add group, type in snack generation. Now we need to do is click on add event, click system, type in every X seconds. Now in the interval box, we need to type in int random with 2 brackets on the end here. Type it exactly as this. I'm going to explain this. Basically, int stands for integer. The integer converts a float, which could be a fraction number or a decimal number such as 0.25, and converts this number into an integer whole number. And for the random, for example, random 1, 4, basically we want to find a random number between 1 and 4. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to find a random number between 1 and 4 as a whole number. Now we click done. Now we click on action, system, type in create object. Now for the object to create, we click on food. For the layer, we want to make sure it's in the UI layer. For X, we want to type in random 35 620. Type it exactly as this. Random -25 and -50. Hit done. Here we want to create the full object on the UI layer. X and Y are the coordinates we want to create our object. We want our full objects to spawn in different areas of the screen, so we use the random again. Don't forget our main window resolution of 640 by 960. Notice that our Y values here are negative numbers. This means that our full object will start spawning above the screen, and it won't show yet until we start making moves, which I will discuss how to do later. Let's take this section and drag it on the snack generation group. Now we take this section again, right click, copy. On your keyboard, press Control V. Now let's go back to the actions area, double click, and this time instead of the full group for the object to create, we want to create the bomb. Hit done, and that's it.